this up, and then pop this in some fashion. Probably mess around, but yeah, we're alive.
Okay, no, because it says offline. That's all.
Oh, yeah, it always says that.
It's just
so you reload the page, and then all of a sudden, wow, look, you've been alive for 4 minutes.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I figured it out. How do I get the sound over here?
Plug into the thing.
Oh, right. I'm being a dingus again.
Yep.
Now I get to screw around with this for a minute.
You got this, I believe you. Hey, Jen.
Hey, Jen, I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out.
He's trying to plug it into the monitor.
Okay, I can hear it. Cool. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Inspector.
Inspector.
Oh, it's fish and chips.
Oh. I thought you just took a bite out of the fryer.
I like how you could. Oh. He takes 2 bites out of it, then he pops it up and it magically reappears. What do you think? Lovely weather, isn't it? What has the weather got to do with anything? Listen to me, young Japanese upstart. Some frippery about weather doesn't get every English gent eaten out of your hand, you know that? But Susato-san told me it was foolproof. I'm a busy man, a very busy man. Damn, he is aggressively eating fish and chips. There's a crime scene to investigate, and I'm here having to give the likes of you a talking to. Oh, I'm ever so sorry. Can you imagine what the other officers there will be saying, huh? I haven't seen Gregson anywhere, have you? Oh. No, he's too busy with the big leagues these days. All because of some bumpkin here on a jaunt from a country I've never even heard of. Hear that ripping sound? That's my reputation at the yard going to tatters. I know he's British, but I can't help but feel like he talks with like a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
There's no need to rip us apart as well. I don't believe we've been introduced. This is me, Mr. Ryanosuke Naruhodo, an offense lawyer. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, It's lovely weather we're having today, isn't it? It's unseasonably fine, I grant you. London winters don't see a lot of sunshine. Unbelievable. How did she pull that off? Oh my god.
I went from aggressively eating chips to just...
Milady. So, Lord Strongheart has asked me to fill you in on the case. Name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard.
Yeah.
Gregson. Inspector Gregson? Oh, that's our Watson. Stand in. Yo, why does he give me big firm vibes? Inspector, are you perhaps the Inspector Gregson? Pause. I know it's supposed to be fish and chips, but it really just looks like he's eating like a breadstick out of the middle of his french fries. I want fried fish now. But you're acting like you know this man, Mr. Sato, but he's a London detective. Oh, I do know him. Very well, in fact. Very well? Yes, he features prominently in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes.
Of course he does.
Yeah, of course he does, because he's the Watson. Oh, and that publication. What's it called again? Rance Magazine? That's right, Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderful friendly rivalry. Never mind, Gregson is supposed to be, probably the Moriarty? Really, you rival the great Mr. Sholmes? That's incredible. Oh, well, I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes isn't a professional like myself, of course, but he does come up with the goods from time to time. Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? He earned his highest praise. Gregson is the pick of a bad lot shot of Scotland Yarders. Those were his own words. That's his highest praise. Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see. I don't even like fish food. That he is not, and thanks to that magazine, my name's known all over London town now. That's great, isn't it? Huh. I have to admit that to start with I was a little flattered by the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand, and my reputation at the yard went through the roof. Well, it's good then. No, that is not. There is nothing more sinister than the man on the street. People are always looking at me. They're whispering rumors about me under their breath, I'm sure. Rumors? Are you quite sure? He's changed since he started appearing in those stories. The fame's gone to his head. Stuff like that. Gosh, do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you? Like I said, they whisper, so I can't catch exactly what they're saying. But I know what folk are like. I know what they're saying. I'm sure as eggs is eggs. I get the feeling this detective could be very hurt. Oh dear, perhaps a sudden rise to fame does change people. So, about the case that the Lord Chief Justice mentioned before. He just pocketed the fucking fish and chips. He's gonna have some soggy pockets. Nothing to tell, really. As far as we're concerned at the yard, it couldn't be simpler. Oh boy. Oh dear, that probably means... as far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated. I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right. A young woman was walking along the pavement on Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she's still laid up in hospital unconscious. But how the fuck isn't she dead? We're in, like, turn-of-the-century London. Dog, they haven't figured out that germs exist yet.
Leeches. Just fucking leeches.
We're just gonna look at her back and it's gonna look like a fucking swarm yard. Anyway, I don't suppose you would have finished out whoever it off with a suicido takedown. That is neither here nor there, Mr. Naruto. Brace yourself. You're angered her now. Anyway, after something of a whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. Barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest. So, there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprit? Or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question? Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one. Sorry? There's nothing you can do. There's no way to help the bloke now. Why ever not? Simple. The prosecutor that's been assigned to the trial tomorrow is Lord Herlock von Zykes. No. Sounds like you heard of him then.
Yeah, we beat him.
Oh yes, we're very familiar with Lord Van Zykes. Believed to be the harbinger of death itself. Reaper of the Bailey.
Would you believe we already beat him?
Lord Herlock von Zykes, who we faced on court only yesterday. Mr. McGilden told us about him before the trial, didn't he? Ah! Flashbang!
Flashbang through the door.
When Zykes stands for the prosecution, they call the accused as sacrificial lambs. And in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. I mean, I guess technically that reputation still stands. The Reaper of the Bailey nickname. I suppose he's earned that because every defendant he advocates against is found guilty, is it? Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector, that in yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zykes, Mr. Naruto secured a verdict of not guilty. Ha! And what of it? Oh, well, I think that means that even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not possible to save the defendant. No, you really don't have a clue, do you? Well, what do you mean? What happened to that bloke in the end, eh? He's dead. Magnus McGilden came a cropper in that omnibus when it went up in flames. So you can't rightly say you saved the defendant, can you? What are you saying? Look, if Van Zykes could get dirt to stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. But that's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles, he works magic. Black magic. Oh, he's saying that Zykes burnt Magnus McGilden. I've had a good long think about that if I were you. Are we really supposed to believe in that? His magic fish and chips. Right, well, I filled you in as requested and I'm very nearly out of chips, so I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. We're still carrying out a few investigations there. It was Briar Road you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place? That's correct, ma'am. And if you head over to the holding cells, you can meet the criminal himself. You branded him a criminal already? He's as good as. Shaken like a leaf in his cell, he is. He'll give you a chuckle, if nothing else. He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer and he'll show you the way. He's so nonchalant about it, yeah. So there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, they say. Is something troubling you, Mr. Naruhodo? To tell the truth, when I recall the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself from shaking. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... Well, if you think it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. That takes courage, too. But if the man they've arrested is innocent, you could well imagine he would be shaking like a leaf in his cell. And I, for one, wouldn't find the sight of that funny. So, if I'm honest, I'm still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events myself. I'm really not sure I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is. But I'd like to try, so I think I'm going to make some inquiries. Will you help? Did you really think you had to ask? After all, I am your judicial assistant. Thank you. So then, shall we? Yes. Let's go. I was waiting to get Susato take down, to be perfectly honest.
Why?
I don't know, because that seems like something she'll do.
Why are you...
Damn. I mean, you're not wrong. Everything that's made of paper and wood at home is made of rock and stone. Rock and stone, brother.
So why are you examining this one?
Let's go to the prison cell. Let's see who we're defending. So these are British prison cells.
Love.
Oh, they're ghastly. It feels like a dungeon.
It is a dungeon.
Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone walls. Oh, don't, Mr. Naruhodo, you're making it seem worse. Apparently, our client is in this cell here. But it's so dark at the back there, I can't make him out. Wonder what he's like. Inmate 53, your legal representative is here to see you. Stop by to at the back of the cell and show your face at once. Am I a cat? As yet with no name? Call me by my number. It's utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable. I refuse to answer. Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think is going on here? I have no idea. But I wasn't just hearing things, was I? That tirade of complaints was in Japanese. Oh no. Okay. I was waiting for it to be our lovely detective friend. Excuse me, but who... Shh! Quiet! They're all around, hiding. I know they are. They're watching, listening. Even now, I can sense it. Right. So, could I ask you... There you are. You've come to curse me, haven't you? Don't try to hide it. You're a ghost. Ghost? What do you mean you know harm, prisoner-san? Are you Japanese by any chance? Oh, his eyes changed. This is beyond my wildest dreams.
Prison?
I think he means having Japanese representation.
No, it's definitely prison.
Forgive me for that outburst before. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's fine. We're just a little surprised, that's all. Imagine it. It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown, and here I am, the frightful fix in a foreign land. So hearing the sweet, sentimental tones of a compatriot's voice here in this damp, dark hellhole was a most monumentally moving moment. Oh, he likes alliteration. Who could have guessed that this new client learns match that is strong,
Or a strong heart
would turn out to be a fellow Japanese. A fellow Japanese.
That's how they're referred to.
What compassion my fellow countrymen show. To dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student. Noble, nurturing, never failing, Nippon. First-class lawyer? Oh dear, I think there's been something of a misunderstanding here. I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what's happened? Why you've been detained as a suspect, for example? Yes, I can, I will. Shan't stay sullen and silent.
It's gonna be a long one.
Oh yeah, he's got JoJo poses. I'm not sure I quite understand what he means, but he seems happy. Yes, he does. I told you as an actor have a good reason. Thank you for your cooperation. I'm a lawyer, as you said. My name is Ryanosuke Naruhodo. And I am Naruhodo-san's judicial assistant, Susato Hikato. I am a visiting student sent here by our government. Notably, notoriously named Natsume. Sosoke Natsume. Sosoke Natsume-san. What an unusual name. Call me Sosoke, please. I'm a poet, you see, a writer of haiku. Something of a nom de plume. You mean an alias? That's right, Naruhodo-san. No. Don't be so prosaic. I'm much more refined than that. And haiku? That really reminds me of home. Did I hear you say that you were a visiting student sent over here by the government? Yes, that's right. A year ago, I was told to go and study English. First, I had to suffer that misery. And now this. It's beyond the pale. Suffer that misery? Did you not want to study here? No, I mean, I've had an interest in Great Britain for some years, of course. Oh. But just because the government tells you to do something doesn't mean you can do it? No. Well, what do you mean? If they told me to study English literature, that I could have understood. That's my field. No, they told me to study the English language. Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly, unreasonably. I see. Only the other day I was told to send a report about my first year here. I tendered a blank piece of paper. Wise words on whitewash. This is gonna be a long case. You must be a man of great standing. Oh yes, so I'm often told. And often like to be told, it seems. Could you perhaps tell us exactly why you've been arrested, Sasaki-san? I didn't do it. I didn't commit that atrocious murder. Murder? Oh, no. It's alright. The woman didn't actually die, did she? But she was stabbed with a knife right before my eyes. Before your eyes? You mean you saw the attacker?
This one is 4 parts. The last one was 2. It was 3-part for the first one, 3-part for the second one, 2-part for this last one.
I didn't see any one. But if I had seen the person who did it, do you think I'd be locked up in here?
This is 8 parts.
Oh dear, it seems this case is becoming rather complicated. Why me? Why did that silly woman have to be stabbed in front of me? The curse of London. It's incredibly, inexcusably, irritatingly inconvenient. So Sasaki-san was there at the scene but didn't see the attacker. It's vital that we find out more about the case. It was an accursed evening, just after the snow had started to clear, heavy with fog. I'd been to the bookshop to buy some books, and I was on my way to my accursed lodgings. Sure, the bookshop wasn't accursed too. As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman, wearing a green overcoat she was. And just as I went to overtake her, she suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed onto the cold hard slabs of stone at my feet. He's shaking violently. Holy crap. How terrible. I called out to the woman, but she didn't move. It was like a ghostly, ghoulish, grim graveyard. Slight exaggeration there, perhaps. I was terrified. I had to get away from it. So I ran as far as my legs would carry me back to my first lodgings. That's not good. They'll say it was shameful, I know. I went away like that. Tell me, Sasaki-san, was the victim an acquaintance of yours? Don't be ridiculous. Do you think I know any of these fair-haired English? A young woman like that. I I'm diffident, shy, timid, unsure. I can't talk to people. I see.
Rude.
A young woman unknown to Soseki. And at the time it happened, who else did you see nearby? Anyone pass you? Regrettably. Apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul. She stabbed herself 3 times in the chest.
Are we gonna get the juror again with the knife?
Yeah, maybe. So the victim was unbeknownst to you, and there was no one else in the street at the time. That creates a conundrum, doesn't it? What do you mean Susato-san is a conundrum? Well, if what Sasaki-san has just told us to be true, there's something I can't explain. He says he didn't know the victim, and there was no one else in the scene, and then he apparently fled without having been seen. I did. But if that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit? Ah! You... What did you just say? Nothing, I didn't say anything. Oh, perhaps I thought that a little loudly.
Big mood.
Actually, that's not what was troubling me. What I was thinking was, how did Sasaki-san actually come to arrest him? He didn't touch the victim, and there was nobody at the scene to see him, so how did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place? Oh yes, she's right. It was him. That accursed great detective. He led the police to me. Of all the bad luck. Oh no, Sholmes. I shall never forget that man's name as long as I live. His haughty laugh and his self-proclaimed greatness. Brash, big-headed, busybody be gone. And be cursed until the end of your days, Herlock Sholmes. I knew it. Man got blamed because he British.
Oh boy. So, tell me a little more about Sholmes.
Well, I didn't expect to hear that name from this man's lips, that's for sure. It was the morning after the nightmare had been folded on the pavement before me. I was gnawing on a sliver of hard cheese when some men suddenly burst through the door. They started shouting at me. This is the police, put the weapon down. Yes, it was a thin sliver, and yes, it was hard, but I wasn't eating a weapon. Disgusting, dietary discrimination devils. You clearly had a trying morning yesterday. And there he was, in the middle of all the policemen, grinning like a Cheshire cat. That Herlock Sholmes. It's actually just Herlock Sholmes, so he's English. I've since found out that he's a famous name in detection here in London. Yes, the great detective is really very well known. And his overly sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts, apparently. He thinks I'm the knife-wielding me, a weak, stooped kitten of a man. I wonder what great deduction process led him to this conclusion this time. Do you mean to say that Mr. Sholmes' deduction was the only reason the police arrested you? That would be really most unreasonable. Well, the thing is, I was thrown into a panic when they barged their way in. Of course you were. That's only natural. I was terrified and trembling, and they kept throwing question after question at me in impossible English. Fiendish, foreign, flammery. Well, we are in England, you really can't blame me for questioning you in English. Good point. But my mind went blank. I knew I had to answer, but I didn't know what to say, so I just kept repeating things like, yes, I do, and I'm fine. The next thing I knew, I was in manacles. Before I knew it, I was thrown in here. I'm afraid that's hard to surprise. I'm fine, he's not fine. Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Oh, you can just call me Naruhodo. And when we're speaking English, a simple mystery, more than enough. Oh yes, alright, yes. They've really got to me. This country is poisoning my mind. But please, I beg you to defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You'll do it, won't you? Well, why? Why is it so hard to say yes to me? Well, the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself, on a study tour. A student? I've defended a case in the Old Bailey. Only the one, though. But at this moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to be leading. I'm confused about what justice is in this country, even if it means. Naruhodo-san. Not even the foreign student who is supposed to be here. I'm sort of a locum lawyer, if you will. But that armband is the mark of a defense lawyer from our great empire. It's a keepsake from the man who should have been here. He was my best friend. Keepsake? You're really giving this man a fucking conniption.
If you just looked at, I'm a student, I've only done the one case, but I do know, law.
Yeah, I know exactly what they're saying about me. Oh, who do you mean? The lawyers, all the British defense lawyers. They won't defend me. Goodness, why do you say that? For the same reason as you noted before. When it happened, there was only the victim and myself around, and I ran from the scene of the crime. I'm not a fool. I know it looks as though I must be the culprit. Must be very hard for you, Sasaki-san. And anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody to them, someone not to be trusted. I heard them openly laughing about me before, in earshot, without any compunction at all. Any trial for this man would be a waste of time, they said, and of course the foreigner did it. They even had the gall to say, the man doesn't understand half of what's being said anyway.
Everybody loves racism in this case, and
They're
in last
wrong.
case,
I've studied more English than half the policemen out there on the streets. I've traveled halfway around the world to learn about these people's country and its great history. But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They all hate me. So, at the very least, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who can listen to me in my native tongue. You could do it, couldn't you? When I look into your eyes, I can see it. See what you've been through. Sasaki-san is just that. Give me a little time, please. I'll do what I can, for the time being. What do you mean? We shall investigate the case as thoroughly as possible. If we can find some clues, it'll give us a much better chance, I'm sure. Oh yes, thank you. I'll be here, all alone, waiting for you, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. We should be going then, Naruhodo-san. We have a case to prepare for.
Bye-bye.
To Briar Road. This is gonna be a case.
Just remember, this case only theoretically is part-wise. Half as long as the next one.
I know. Snowman!
I'm so happy.
So this is where it happened, at the Briar Road. With Mr. Naruhodo. Look at that regulation metal helmet. It's unmistakable. The men of Scotland Yard are here. They're investigating as we speak. That is their job, you know. But Mr. Naruhodo, you see one with my own eyes. They're often depicted in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, but I never dreamt I'd come this close. To reveal Bobby's helmet. What? The helmet? Of course. I have to try one on one day. Well, I hope your Hattie dreams come true. Oh hey, it's the detective. Gregson. What's the Japanese delegation doing here? Oh, Inspector Gregson. This isn't on the tourist trails, so I'm fairly sure you're well aware. Yes, of course. We're here to investigate. So you've been to the holding cells then. What'd you make of the criminal? He's not a criminal, as you put it, Inspector. He's a suspect. We'll see about that. You Japanese like to stick together, I suppose.
Racism. Last case, anti-Semitism.
And racism.
And racism. But more pushing the anti-Semitism last time.
I feel like we need like a racism calendar. We're up to 2.
That's a statement.
Do what you will, it doesn't bother me. The bloke's in court tomorrow, whatever happens, and the verdict's a foregone conclusion. Take heart, London at this time of year is full of stone cold air. That makes it worse. Alright, let's talk, since we're here. Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector. Ever since I read about any adventures of Herlock Sholmes, I've been fascinated by this. The Yard is the most sophisticated policing organization you'll find anywhere in the world, man. Oh, and you know I've always dreamt of wearing real bodies like that. It does make them look the part, seeing that policeman there with his helmet on. You certainly get the sense that this is a man who will take no nonsense in his duty of protecting the city. Oh yes, doesn't he look wonderful? Being a London Bobby is hard going, I can tell you. Oh really? First thing in the morning, you know what he does? He goes around and rouses all the laborers on the beat so he can get them off to work. Wait, he wakes people up? Yep, wraps on their windows with a long pole. Did it myself going back a bit. I had no idea. The Bobby works for the people of the town. It's just another one of his duties. After that, he starts tirelessly patrolling the streets all day long. He has to cover 20 miles a day. That's the regulation distance. Can't imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way. Alright, we have kilometers.
What's a kilometer? I speak America.
20 miles, that's approximately the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama. On foot? That's definitely taking things a step too far. And when it gets dark, of course, he has the important job of lighting all the gas street lamps. Oh my. I suppose in between all of those duties, Bobbies are expected to investigate cases as well. And chase after criminals trying to evade the law. I'm not sure you can call it in between exactly, more alongside, but yes. They're expected to handle those jobs as well. We do have men queuing over from time to time, I admit. I'd always dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. But it's with a heavy heart. But I shall have to relinquish that dream to you, Mr. Naruhodo. Your heavy heart will be my heavy head if you do. Damn. I can't tell if this is propaganda or not.
I mean, it's racism.
I mean, yeah, that part's racist, but no, it feels more like this is just like accurate to the times. You know what I mean? It happened at around 5 in the evening 2 days ago, just there on the open bit of pavement. The victim, a young woman, was stabbed with a blade from behind. Is that right? The lady is still unconscious now. You mentioned she's being treated in hospital. I never said she was a lady. Truth is, unless she comes around pretty smartish, we won't be able to find out much about her at all. Guess that means I haven't been able to take a statement from her. Oh, there's going to be an updated autopsy report type thing going on. Here's a map of the local area I happen to have on me. You can take it if you want. Really? You sure? It's yard policy to give lawyers and defendant suspects the odd bit of information to go on. Haven't actually accepted the job yet, but still. Thank you, Inspector. We gratefully accept. Local map. Anyway, as far as we know, there was no one else on the scene other than the victim and your fellow countrymen. So who did it, you think? Not much of a head-scratcher, is it? Well, I know Mr. Natsume is claiming to not have seen anyone else around, but just because he didn't see anyone, doesn't mean we can be sure that nobody else was present. I'm sorry to have to tell you, but we most certainly can't be sure. How?
Security cameras.
Because, ma'am, the precise moment of the stabbing didn't go unnoticed. What? We have 2 very reliable witnesses, no less.
We had 2 very reliable witnesses last time.
There was no, yeah, it was a typical foggy London day, and your client obviously didn't see them.
Oh, we have 2 witnesses that saw them during a foggy day.
Yep. Who are these witnesses, Inspector? The fellow and his wife, and the man's one of the most reliable and respected citizens of all of London. He's a copper from the Scotland Yard. Oh boy. Policeman? That might change things. And this policeman just happened to be there at the exact moment the woman was attacked. Nothing peculiar about that, man. Part and parcel of being a Bobby, catching the bang in the middle of the act and all. Do you think it might be possible for us to ask that policeman a few questions? Be my guest. You can ask him what you like. In court tomorrow. Oh. I have no doubt he'll be someone's witness. So I'll give you something to look forward to. That's that then. He's got no intention of letting us meet the man before he seems. Policeman witnessed the incident. As your judicial assistant, I must warn you that can make our job very difficult. Yes, a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me of that too. Oh yes, one more thing, Inspector. The person who led you to the suspect. I hear it was Mr. Herlock Sholmes. What are you bringing him up for? Was it something I said? The color is drained from his cheeks. Who did you hear that from, Matt? Oh, well, it was Mr. Natsume who mentioned it. He said that Mr. Sholmes was with the police when they entered his lodgings. It was sure to be one of the results of Mr. Sholmes' great deductions. Fiddle faddle. The man's an amateur. I'm getting sick and tired of him showing his mug everywhere. Oh. I don't know where he gets his information from, but he turns up at the scene of the crime, wanders around spouting incomprehensible rubbish, and before you know it, he claims to have solved the case. Yes, he's quite a astounding, isn't he? He is a great help to Scott in the yard, though, isn't he? Gibble gabble. Ever seen this before? Yes, that's Rance Magazine. A wonderful publication which the adventures of Herlock Sholmes appears. Yes, well, that wonderful publication, as we put it, sees fit to include several of Yard's detectives in its stories. The so-called Great Detective makes a mockery of all of us. If you ask anyone at the Yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any Herlock Sholmes tale at all. Well, I suppose there isn't anything to that. We work our socks off, every one of us, hoping to be frumped by the public thanks to that obnoxious detective. That man's as dangerous to us at Scotland Yard as he is to all of our criminals. That can't really be true, can it? You've seen the man. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
He is close to the right thing, but somehow gets very important key details wrong.
That twitchy Japanese bloke goes on trial tomorrow. You gonna defend him or not? Well, makes no difference to me. But I'll just say this. No London lawyer worth his salt would touch that case with a barge pole. Because the prosecution is being handled by the Reaper. There's no way to save that man now. It's a waste of time trying. It is all a bit strange, though. Sorry? The Reaper. He hasn't appeared in court once for a good few years now. Yes, we did hear something to that effect. And only the people he usually bothers with are the real scum. The master criminals. The violent ones. The master criminals? The violent ones? That's right. He handpicks his victims. Only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for their sins. But Mr. Natsume wouldn't hang for what he's accused of, surely. It's just my point, sunshine. Yes, the young woman was stabbed, but it didn't kill her. Couldn't even say the intent was there. So this isn't the sort of case I'd be expecting the Reaper to want to sink his teeth into, for the want of a better phrase. Well, it's not exactly a minor infraction, is it?
That's a small stabbing.
No, there's gotta be more to it. Some reason he's taken an interest. Really? What sort of reason? You think I can tell what's going on the inside of the head of the Lord of Darkness? You'll have to ask him yourself at tomorrow's trial. We're gonna have to face the Lord of Darkness. What a fucking edgelord. Well, I don't think we're gonna get any more useful information. Mr. Naruhodo, can I make a suggestion? Oh yes, what is it? Well, it seems to me that we must speak with him about this. By him, do you mean Mr. Sholmes? Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, exactly. Look at those eyes, you can't wait, can you? Well, Mr. Natsume did blame Sholmes for all this, didn't he? Yes, he did, he really did. Which makes him an involved party in the case. Just going to ignore that? I hope not. I assure you it's not simply my selfish desire to meet with Mr. Sholmes again. Trouble is, we have no idea what the man's address even. So how? It's Baker Street. How did you know that? It's in the stories, of course. 221B Baker Street, the most famous address in the world. Oh, I see, but there's nothing to stop us from going, I suppose. We better try to find out whether before Susato's song gets more excited and unpredictable. Hurrah, I'll sum that courage. So we're to have a reunion already. With the great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Snowman! What a snowman. Didn't realize the English had a tradition of making snowmen well. Looks a little creepy though. Oh, it has a scarf, look. You need one if you were out in this freezing cold all the time. Wish I had one. I'm afraid our budget is somewhat frozen at the moment too. We certainly can't afford a scarf. Surely the snowman here wouldn't miss his. The person who made it probably would. Yes, I know, you're right. Anyway, even if I borrowed it, it wouldn't do much to warm my neck, would it? It's covered in snow. Police carriage. Oh, that's a Scotland Yard carrot. We use vehicles like this to rush to crimes and faraway criminals. You're very well informed, aren't you? It's long been a dream of mine to ride one of those through the streets of London. Just pick up a stone and throw it from one of the windows, though. But that would mean being arrested in order to ride it. Wouldn't it? Still, it's the only way. Help me find a good stone. Oh, no, I wasn't serious. Susato sounds a fucking dingus. That That's one of the officers from Scotland Yard. The police are making sure the crime scenes are disturbed. I have a feeling that if we wander too close, we'll be clapped in irons. I think perhaps you're being a little overcautious. We've done nothing wrong, so we have no cause for concern. Oh no, I'm not getting caught out. Twice is enough. Twice I've found myself in handcuffs despite not knowing a thing about what's going on. Yes, you've had some dreadful experiences. Sure that wide-eyed look of panic you're so prone to. It does leave no favors. Damn. Worst species that I saw. Patrick Bacon must be where the incident occurred. Yes, it's a very wide open space, isn't it? That's true, I can't see anywhere the attacker could have been hiding. Oi, what are you for, Miss Juvenile? We just investigating the scene, officer. Conspiring with that mustache fellow from Japan, are you? Conspiring? Come here to destroy the evidence, have you? Get out of here before I give you an item. Go on. You shoot us away like rats. Yes, we should give him a wide berth, I think. What a disappointing experience. Cool. Oh, look at the windows of that building. You sure they're windows? Well, yes, but they're all filled with bricks. Oh, you're right. Wonder why. Perhaps it's an empty property where nobody lives at the moment. There's smoke coming from the chimneys, though. Oh dear, everything still feels very foreign. There's so much we have to learn about this place.
Yeah.
Add one to the races encountered. I looked at the scene and the Bobby shoot us away saying we were conspiring to destroy evidence with the foreigner.
And you can watch us if you're that concerned.
Yeah. Look at this bicycle. Although the wheel is somewhat misshapen, I'm sure it could possibly be ridden. Someone must have been doing some breakneck cycling. Seems bicycles have become extremely popular recently. There's even a movement to change women's dress to allow them to ride bicycles.
Drive-by, I think.
Yeah?
Bike drive.
It's like that video of the fucking dictator of Turkmenistan doing a drive-by gun shoot. Or was that Korea? One of the videos.
I know what you're talking about.
Bicycle fad won't last. I don't see why anyone would want to ride something like that. Goodness, do you dislike bicycles? No, not at all. I mean, it's not that I dislike them exactly. Just that any occupation that involves taking both your feet off firm ground seems reckless. You ever tried walking on stilts and falling into a river? I know you'd agree with me. We'll have to hire a bicycle sometime. You can sit behind while I ride you around. That's a rather typical old brick building, isn't it? Sure, it has a long and interesting history. Old time certainly seems to have taken its toll on the place. It's crooked and sagging all over the place. In fact, it looks decidedly worse shape than other houses around here. We must find some cheap lodgings ourselves as soon as possible. Yeah, you're right. Cheap, but ideally with reasonably level floors. Alright, I think I've just explored everything. The road. There's piles of snow on the pavement here and there, but the road itself is covered in carriage tracks. It seems carriages often travel down Briar Road, and soon disperses all the snow. I slipped over when I was walking down the pavement earlier. It seems like it would be far safer to walk on the road instead. Oh, but you're rather small, Mr. Naruhodo. You're dressed all in black. A worried coachman might not see you. You can be flattened by horses. Thank you for the rather small concern. Damn, she really hit them with short king stand-up. Susato also fantasized about riding in the back of these carriages, and so Naruhodo was like, oh, just throw a rock at them. I'm sure that'll get you put in there. And she's like, but that would mean committing a crime. Well, yeah, that's the point. And she goes, okay, help me find a good run. So, no, you fucking idiot.
Do I have to put you on, represent you on trial as well?
So, Calabash and Mirshcom and Briar Road. Alright. I don't want to go...
Hi, Sholmes. Oh, buddy, oh, pal.
Oh wow, we get an animation. Where's all the snow?
The on piles off screen.
Thank you very much. It's just up there overlooking the street. Good day.
Thanks again.
The woman was stabbed with a knife. We're walking around with
This is it.
katana.
The residence
Well,
of
yeah,
Mr.
got
Herlock
pictures of people with
Sholmes.
knives.
I also have to laugh that in the animation they are fully voiced, and he sounds so British.
He's adapted well in his one day here.
Yeah, apparently. Oh, sweet baby Jesus.
What did you expect?
This looks like an I Spy picture.
What did you expect from Sholmes? Yep.
I was hoping for better. So this is where the great detective makes his living. Feels surreal to be here somehow. Hopefully we oh god.
Feels like a
it's
fever
even
dream.
worse. It says, describing the stories, Miss Susato.
So much worse.
Susato song.
Fangirling.
Many famous cases have been solved here in this very room. Oh, I suppose they must have been, yes. Never read the story, so it's hard to get quite as excited about it as she seems to be. The great detective chases the villain relentlessly as it disappears into the fog down an London street. Oh, the thrill of it, the romanticism. Can't you feel the heart thumping in the chest? Can't you, Mr. Naruhodo? I suppose, yes. So if you don't mind, I'll just stand here and soak up the atmosphere for a while longer. Please don't mind me. She's obsessed. Did we just break into Sholmes' house?
Hey, you left the door.
Yep, he isn't home. Isn't even home. Oh, do we have a visitor? Oh no. It's the lolly with a gun.
It's Watson. It's
Hello,
the
is
face
it a big
Watson.
new case for Mr. Sholmes? Hello? Wait, aren't you... Oh, how rude of me. I'll go and make some tea at once. Right. I'm sure it's the same girl. Mr. Sato, did you see the girl who was just here? Oh yes, isn't it truly extraordinary? I think that the King of Bohemia came to this very room to ask Mr. Sholmes to take on his case. King Wilhelm Gottfried Sigmundsson von Ormstein, of course. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Forget the adventures of Herlock Sholmes for a moment and look over there. The tea's brewed, and I have a freshly baked cake as well. Ah, it's you! I knew it. Susato-san recognizes her. The lady with a gun. Ah, there you are.
What's that?
I'm taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Good day to you. I'm, well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine. Excuse me. It's the girl who turned up at the end of Mr. McGilda's trial in the defendant's antechamber. Never met a lawyer from the Far East before. Poor you, having to get straight to work when you've only just arrived in London. Oh yes, it was challenging. Well, try this tea. It's my special blend. Oh, thank you. Is tea supposed to look that color?
It's drugs.
Oh my, what a fragrant yet mellow flavor. Right, it's a winner. I tried blending different leaves designed to alleviate fatigue. Must be exhausted after your long voyage here, and you have another ticklish trial tomorrow. And you're to defend a Japanese man. I do wish you lots and lots of luck. Did Mr. Sholmes tell you about us by any chance? Oh, you know Hurley, do you? Mr. Sholmes is a fellow passenger on the boat that brought us to Great Britain, you see. Was he really? Well, I had no idea. I'm afraid Hurley's out on an errand again today, even though he's just returned from overseas. Wait a minute. We met this girl for the first time ever yesterday after the trial, only briefly at that. How on earth does she know so much about us? Did she deduce all of those things, you think? And perhaps more to the point, why is she Mr. Sholmes' suite? Oh, silly me. I haven't introduced myself, have I?
Telling you if it's Watson.
It's a pleasure. Iris Wilson. Oh god, it's Watson.
Fates. They fates Watson.
Watson turned into a lolly with a rocket launcher.
Hey, smoke grenade launcher. Grenade launcher versus rocket launcher, big difference.
Well, she did pull out what looked like a bazooka and didn't explain what it did.
And you just went straight to the... Well,
Bazooka, yes. It's
Hey,
my
it
great
looks like a
pleasure to
bazooka,
meet you
but
both.
nothing
My
but
name is Irish
hard to tag.
I love here with Harley. Ah, Iris, was it? What a lovely name. What? What's the matter? No, wait, this can't be. Did you say that your name is Wilson? What's the matter with Susato-san? Why is she so flustered? Yes, that's right. And what are your names? Oh, I'm Ryanosuke Naruhodo, a lawyer from Japan. Oh, sorry. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotoba. It's wonderful to meet you. Lovely, Susie and Bruno. Got it. Susie? And Bruno? There's more to this girl than meets the eye. I have so many questions for her, I don't know where to start. Yes, and so do I. Oh god, they lullified Watson.
This is Wilson.
It was you that we ran into yesterday, wasn't it, at the Old Bailey? Yes, that's right, you were so helpful. Thank you so much.
She kind of, she kind of doesn't look like everyone else.
Oh no, not
Stands
at
out.
all. I'm so sorry we couldn't get more welcoming. Though at the time we did have a rather large gun pointed at us. Like this? Thinking back now, you left with Miss Lestrade in tow, didn't you? Oh yes, that awkward witness, Gina Lestrade. Oh, Ginny? Yes, she's a professional pickpocket. So we found out. It was very naughty of her to pick my invention like that. You're referring to that trial disrupting gun-like contraption? Exactly, so I followed her, you see, to get it back. Huh. Perhaps I should think about fitting a self-destruct mechanism in my inventions. This girl is dangerous. Anyway, I brought Ginny back here after that, but she could apologize to my trusty technician. Sorry, your technician? Harley, of course, silly. Harley? Yes, Herlock Sholmes. We live here together. I had no idea this great detective had such an interesting young daughter. Daughter? No, not likely. What? I wouldn't call him Harley if he was my father, would I? Well then, what is your relationship with Mr. Sholmes? Well, I expect you found out that lodgings of any kind in London are very expensive. So the solution is to share the cost with a partner, a roommate. Roommates! They really hit him with the roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
Oh my god. I hope you don't mind me asking, Iris, but how old are you? 10 at last this year.
Okay, at least they go with the 1,000-year-old.
And what of your mother and father? Oh no. They're not around. Oh, I see. I wonder what the story is there. Oh yes, there's something I must ask you. Of course, go ahead, Susie. I'm a very great fan of the adventures of Herlock Sholmes and... Oh, you have a copy of our Aunt's magazine. Yes, I read every issue.
Is it just me or you hear a different accent every single time you hear
I'm trying to go back to Irish, but it's a hard flip because it isn't like in an Irish accent because I was trying to be funny because her name is Iris.
I know, it feels like you have a different accent every single line.
Hearty tire. Alright, I'm just gonna go with normal, but it was fun. It's delivered all the way to Japan on a ship. Oh, this is so exciting. The stories are being read on the other side of the world. My stories? That's right. Hurley is always solving such amazing cases, you see, and he tells me all about them. They really are quite fascinating. It would be such a shame if I was the only one to have ever heard them, wouldn't you think? Goodness. Last night, he was telling me all about a new case he just solved on a steamship traveling from a faraway land. So I was just in the middle of typing up the manuscript for the next issue before you came. So you're the author. Yes, I'll let you know a secret if you like. I'm gonna call away this adventure the Speckled Band. That's certainly very familiar. Of course, I always change one or two details in the stories here and there. This time, I had the idea of making a venomous snake be the cause of all the trouble. That was Mr. Holmes' first thought as well, actually. Yes, and of course I know that a snake might not be a credible fit for the facts of the case exactly, but it's a story. Some poetic license is justified to make it more thrilling, I think, don't you think? So, do you mean to say, are the stories about Mr. Sholmes that are published in the Marines magazine All written by me? Yes. Only on my wonderful and very modern typewriter. But all the stories I've ever read are written by a doctor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson. Susano-san's getting more and more worked up. Ah, yes, that's me. I mean, my name really is Wilson. But what about the doctor of medicine part? That's all true, too. I am a doctor of medicine. At 10 years old. At 10 years old! Oh, fucking hell. That's quite incredible. But, Dr. Wilson is English gentleman. Ah, yes. I did alter the setting slightly for the stories to be more compelling. Well, it sounds a little strange now, doesn't it? A great detective with a 10-year-old girl in tow? I suppose it does, yes. Poor Susanoo-san. She looks like her whole world is just falling apart. About the four. Yes, what's on your mind, Bruno? Do tell me. How do you know that I'm a lawyer? You just arrived in London. Yeah. Oh, and that we have a difficult trial tomorrow. How did you know all of that? Oh, that's what you mean. Please, tell us every detail. Explain every detail. Of course, I'd be delighted. Although there's really no mystery. Now, let's begin. Iris Wilson is proud to present Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Ah! She's got a gun. First of all, we already knew that you were a lawyer. The army man. After all, I met you yesterday at the Old Bailey and at St. Eugene. But you also said that we'd only just arrived in London. How did you know that? Train ticket in. Passport and travel ticket retrieved from your breast pocket. Oh. So I was reasonably confident that most when you arrived in the country. On top of that, you accepted a case against that particular prosecutor, telling me that you were unaware of its court affairs. But we heard the Bailey. I walked right into that one, didn't I? I noticed a writing stamp on the back of Susie's hand. You were given out when you visited the local prison. Suspect, weren't you? Earlier today. They use those stamps to keep a close eye on comings and goings, you say. I didn't realize. The red stamp is only used for people visiting foreign domains. So that told me that even though yesterday we concluded the trial night was gilded, the two of you had already had a cause to visit a foreign inmate of a local prison. However, neither of you was wearing a particularly sad expression on your face, so I concluded the prisoner was unlikely to be a friend or a relative. That led me to believe that you must have accepted a new case. I see. How could you have known that the trial was tomorrow? Well, having barely been home for a few hours yesterday, Hurley solved yet another case. Obviously it amused him. He told me he caught a Japanese man who was bawling and trembling. Mr. Natsume. Now Runo has that fancy Japanese sword. I think your outfit is called a kimono, isn't it, Susan? Well, anyway, it was clear to me that you both come from Japan yourselves, so I put two and two together and decided you must be defending the Japanese man Hurley caught. There was only one conclusion those facts could lead to. You both came here to ask Hurley about the case.
What is this, actual deduction?
Yeah, I know, right? Can Iris be the detective? There's a note on the mantelpiece that says that man's trial will be tomorrow. Hurley's always stabbing his notes with a knife, you know. He's so silly. And that's all there is to it, really. Thank you for listening. I'm Iris Wilson, and that was one of my great deductions. Well, was it a winner? Were my deductions correct? They were spot on. That was amazing, Iris. Truly a great deduction. You even managed to ascertain something of Mr. Sholmes' delivery. Oh well, I was just copying Hurley's style for that. It was really very good news. You could tell us all about the case involving the Japanese man. You will, won't you, Iris? Please? So yesterday, Mr. Sholmes apprehended a Japanese man himself. Yes. Hurley had just arrived back in London after his sea voyage. The police were waiting for him at the railway station and taken directly to the crime scene. So the great detective is a popular man, it seems. Yes. Oh my god, I just had a wild time. My sister's dog tried to eat my family's cat. Had to save him, but he decided to jump out the window and run in the backyard. Spent the last 10 minutes chasing after a dumbass cat. Jen, are you alright? To catch you up on what happened in the time that you were gone, this is Iris Wilson, the Watson to our Holmes. She's 10 years old.
Sure.
No, to our Holmes. The Watson to our Holmes. She's 10 years old, a doctor of medicine, and wrote every single one of these stories that Susato's been reading, and even more confusingly, has embellished the details to make them make more or less sense. Yes.
Also, she can actually do deductions.
She can actually do deductions, and okay, Lenny is back at the house. Good for Lenny. Or good for you. Or both.
Presumably both.
And yeah, she's a 10-year-old doctor with pink hair in an animated game, and they're roommates, confirmed. So take what you will of that. Apparently, a woman was stabbed on a quiet street somewhere in town. There were witnesses who had seen a short, shifty-looking stoop man running away from the scene. Yeah, that checks out. There were witnesses, yeah. Hurley used his great deductive powers to determine the man's address. The lodging room very nearby. He went directly there with the police, and what did they find? A short, shifty-looking stoop man shivering in fear. Sholmes' great deduction certainly hit the mark this time. Of course it did. He's a great detective. So that means the incident occurred only 2 days ago. Surely tomorrow is too soon for the trial, isn't it? Definitely. We have no time to investigate properly. Hurley says that London is rife with crime. Oh, Scotland Yard is doing its best, but they can't stay on top of it, apparently. Oh dear, I hadn't realized the situation was so dire. That's why they can't afford to spend too much time investigating cases and trying criminals in court. Staff and money are both short. Crimes are usually pinned on the first suspicious person. That's terrible. I suppose the harsh reality of the work is the world's greatest justice system. I suppose it is, but in that case, I don't have that much hope for Sussex now. Thank you for answering so many of our questions, Iris. This has been very informative. Oh, you're most welcome. Had so much fun. Do you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is at the moment? As you guessed, we'd like to ask him some questions about the case as well. Ah, well. Inspector Hurley is still investigating the scene of the case involving Mr. Natsume, you mean? Yes, Mr. Natsume. Hurley said he was going to the man's lodgings. If you leave now, you could probably catch him. Iris, do you know where those lodgings are? Well, I imagine the police are still investigating the scene of the crime themselves, aren't they? Did you happen to come across a detective by the name of Gregson while you were there? Yes, we know Inspector Gregson. Ah, goody. In that case, give Greggy this, would you? You do that, I'm sure he'll tell you what you want to know. What is this? A 5-shilling piece and a postcard, it seems?
Private copy.
Iris is cute, but it also is concerning. Reads, tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust this won't be a problem. Gosh, that'll make the inspector help us, will it? Thank you, Iris. We'll give it a try. Good luck, then. I'm going to return to writing my manuscript, The Speckled Man. I'll be making more special blends of tea, so come back again soon. You'd be delighted. Thank you so much, Iris. I'm concerned by the gunshot bullet holes in the top left that read VR.
That happens sometimes, you know.
Ace Attorney VR soon to be announced.
Oh my god, to get you.
Yeah, why isn't it working? So somewhat dubious that they would exert any influence over the men in Scotland Yard at all. We headed back to the scene of the crime with Iris' curious note and one of the world's heaviest silver coins in hand. Oh hey, apparently that was part 1.
Okay, part 1 of 4. Okay, probably gonna be investigation.
Court. Wait, either investigation courtroom, or investigation courtroom. Yeah, that's usually how it works. Back at the crime scene. Looks as though the police are still here carrying on with their investigation. Perfect. So let's find Mr. Gregson as soon as possible, and see if he'll take a break from his chips to look at the silver tip Iris gave us for him. Oh, hey.
Are you looking at the
Yeah.
money?
5 shilling piece. I think it's called a crown. And yes, if you can train a Scotland Yard to do a detective with whatever you want, with whatever a single one. Iris must be the most powerful 10-year-old in the world. How much is 5 shillings for the ride? What's it really worth? Huh, well, it's probably enough to buy all the chips and the inspector could possibly eat in a whole month. That's greasy. Sure, it's simply the way you're interpreting it. Damn. Apparently 5 shillings is a lot of money. We could feed him for a month on that. You don't think it will make him munch piping hot chips until steam's coming out of his ears, do you? Well, that wouldn't be an entirely terrible outcome. Yeah. Here you go. Inspector Gregson, do you have a moment? I'm sorry to say that I don't. I'm a very busy man. Much too busy to talk to a pair of foreign gadabouts, that's for sure. We have these for you. Present from Miss Iris Wilson. What? For me? From her ladyship? Her ladyship? Give that here at once. Come on, hand it over. That's for me. Don't wait for me to give it to you, will ya? What was that coin exactly? It's a silver crown, obviously. It's a lot more than that. It's, well, an appearance fee. That's what it is. Appearance fee? Oh, I see. You mean... That's right. For the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Her ladyship always offers me a little financial reward for featuring me, every single time. Yes, of course. I know all about your exploits, Inspector. What will happen? Of course, her using my name without my say-so does make me the butt of a lot of unpleasant jokes, but still. I'm sorry, Inspector, that must be difficult for you. Never you mind that. So, what do you want to know then, Sorry? Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. Trust that won't be a problem. Says. Well, obviously it's not a problem. Go on, fire away. What do you want to know? Well, if you wouldn't mind, Inspector, we'd very much like to know the address of Mr. Natsume's lodgings. Ah, the little knife-wielding mustached Japanese fellow. He lives in the right old hovel, it's just over there. Look. Oh. On the first floor of that house in the corner where that wreck of a bicycle propped up. Oh. If I remember rightly, the landlord is Mr. John Gary did. Well, if you see her again, make sure you give her a ladyship my regards, you hear? I mean, you tell her that Gregson sends his very best wishes. Don't worry, Inspector, we will. Goodbye for now. Along with her ladyship. He's treating her like the queen.
Yeah, queen.
Sit for the 10-year-old. Wait, what?
You had to phrase that way.
Alright. So we're going to a boarding house that, by the looks of it, looks like... Oh, quite nice. Wait, where's the window? Yeah, I know, but they were all bricked up in the previous shot.
Yeah, but what's that have to do with the... Yeah, that's the people, not the building. That's bricked up. If you don't want to say it, I know.
May I help you? Yes. Would this be the residence of Mr. John Karadeb? Indeed it would, sir. And whom may I say is calling? My name is Ryanosuke Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo is representing Mr. Saseki Natsume. I believe he takes lodgings here. We would very much like to ask him some questions about our client. One moment, please. I shall convey the message to Mr. Karadeb. If he's gonna be like a Napoleon stand-in, I'm going to be sad. That was a real-life English maid. I know. As I understand it, anyone of standing in English society employs a number of household staff. But that was the first time I've ever seen them in the flesh. Oh, this day keeps getting better. Certainly feels like we really arrived now, doesn't it? We need only to meet a butler and the experience will be complete. Well, I'm not sure if I'd go that far, but I understand the sentiment. Thank you for waiting. Mr. Garrett, we'll see you now. This way. The uniform looks fairly ancient, doesn't it? It's clearly been well looked after, though. That old thing? Ha! Not much better than rags, really. Oh? Well, that ceremonial garb at my retirement bash, you know. But I'm not one for dwelling on the past, me. Would have gladly thrown it out, but you know how it is. Anyway, it doesn't hurt to have an odd piece of memorabilia laying around, does it?
Sir, his...
Yeah, with his pipe, yep. Those whole Aztec shells? Are those mortar shells? Oh, nice. I hadn't noticed. What are they doing? Ah, those old things? A couple of little rounds I accidentally fired into the barracks during training, you know. Became a bit of a colorful regiment folklore, that incident. You mean you deliberately hunted out the spent shells? Well, I wouldn't say deliberately, exactly. They're only scrap iron, after all. Usually just thrown away, I believe. You never know when those things might come in useful, do you? Useful for what exactly? Yes, well... Joan here did manage to knock one of the bowie things off my foot the other day when she was dusting. Oh no. Hadn't shed a tear since 1869 before then, you know? Maybe reconsider throwing them away? I haven't even talked with this man, but I'm just investigating every piece of memory in his home. It looks like a Medal of Honor, and it's showcased in a very grand manner. Yes, displayed with some pride, I'd say. Yo, man, why are you using your pipe to stir the tea? The potential of staring in tobacco is too damn high. Maybe that's what gives the tea a little kick, you know? And yes, he does have the side profile of the man. Yes, it's displayed with some pride, I'd say, although it bothers me that it's not straight. What? That old thing? Sorry. I should be glad to see the back of it. The general would turn me in his grave if I disposed of it. The wall's the best place for it. It keeps the bowie thing out of my way. So it's just been polished to a shine by accident, I suppose. There appears to be an inscription on the metal itself. Look. Let me see, it says, "For distinguished participation." Sounds like some kind of honors I can be in line for. Well, one doesn't like to blow one's own trumpet, but I was given that for my time in the army. Can't measure an officer by the number of medals to his name, of course. Common knowledge in military circles. Photo. That portrait of Mr. Garrett is glaring at me, I swear.
That's like a Scooby-Doo
Have you
thing.
noticed that all the little frames contain photographic prints of Mr. Garrett as well? Yeah. Yes, and there seems to be a statue of a lion on the mantelpiece as well. Ah yes, seemed to come back from the local pawnbroker with that little trinket. Seemed to come back? What do you mean? The chap who runs the place is a bally wizard. Went in to sell him something and came out with that thing. In point of fact, now that I think about it, I rather often find myself leaving the place with something I don't need. The lion ornament certainly does seem surplus to requirements. He's on his son doesn't pull bunches, or throws for that matter. His most prestigious medal is thanks for being here, I guess. I mean, yeah. Look at that enormous screen. It must have been put there deliberately, surely. Yes, it certainly seems like someone's trying to hide something from view. What could be behind that wonder? I'm going to have a very quick look. Just a little peek. Ahem, ahem. Maybe let's not miss this out. I think the maid is going to head us off with a cup of tea. Ahem, ahem. Window. His window looks out over Briar Road where the young woman was attacked. Oh yes, I can make out the policeman on the far side of the road investigating the crime scene. The glass is rather murky, isn't it? You can't see very clearly. Is this thing open at all, I wonder? I shouldn't underestimate the bitterness of the London winter, sir. Sorry? As soon as you open that window, the tea will freeze in the pot. No Londoner would go about opening windows at dusk in the middle of winter, I assure you. It seems very unlikely that these two would have seen anything in the incident then. Yeah, I should probably mention the cannon.
Oh, yeah. It looks like
Oh my, it's real. I thought it might be a replica. That old thing? Bah, the thing's a little more than a toy. Sorry? The army was selling it off when I retired, so I decided to give it a new home. Never know when the enemy might attack next. Jolly useful to have a cannon about the house. Really, isn't it overkill? Be prepared, I always say. You never know what this twisted world is gonna throw at you next, boy. Do you think there may be trouble brewing, Mr. Gyarados? Always is. Take Joan here. Never fails to have a clean apron in dessert. Dries them over the barrel, you see? They dry very well in the cannon there, Joan tells me, which rather proves my point if you've been reduced to a dry one. I wonder if the huge cannon looks like its name gets in the shame. What books you've got? Notice you have a pile of books here, Mr. Gyarados. Do you enjoy reading? Ever experienced a London winter, boy? The nights are long. No better way to pass the time than in front of the fire with a jolly good book. Oh no. Rance Magazine is here too. Alright, let's end the rest of this fucking thing. Jesus Christ, something happened here. Look at this crockery on display here. It's rather unusual, isn't it? Oh, a genuine London dresser. Isn't that delightful? Oh, the shelves seem to be broken. The crockery is... oh dear, it's in pieces. It really is. The word cracked wouldn't do that chinaware justice. There is a lot to look at. I wonder... perhaps the cannon was fired at it. Yeah, probably something like that. Well, let's not delve too deeply here. And yeah, this is how the Phoenix Wright games work. She kinda does suck at her job. I gotta poke or prod anything just in case it becomes relevant to the case later on. Also, snacks. What a wonderful collection of cakes lined up on that convenient silver cake stand. Lined up? It looks more like someone has half demolished them than me. Hungry. Afternoon tea is a time of indulgence, you know. It is quite the English way. It was Mr. Gyarados' custom to take 2 cakes with his tea. That sounds delightful. Oh, wait a minute, though. There are at least 10 cakes on this cake stand. Well, naturally. And I would never do to waste the leftovers. So whatever, Mr. Gyarados, doesn't he? I say to myself, Joan, you shall have to tidy up. How magnanimous of you.
I can respect it.
Alright. Let's get to the main event. Good day to you. John Gyarados at your service. Pleased to meet you, sir. This is Ryanosuke Naruhodo. He's a defense lawyer. Do excuse me not getting up. Took a shot to the knee a few years back in the Battle of Naiwan, don't you? Earned a medal for my pains, but had to withdraw from service. Handed over the reins to the up-and-comings. So he's a retired soldier. Like the man said, let's just keep everything crooked. It's a hell of a job getting up and down stairs now, I can tell you. Don't get out much, as you can understand. Yes, it's quite the climb up here to the second floor, isn't it? I was panting at the top of the stairs. You really must take more exercise, Mr. Naruhodo. Do you think so? Well, Mr. Gyarados, no doubt you were very courageous to earn yourself a medal. Oh, it was nothing. The medal's just a folder roll. Wouldn't like to offend the general, though, so I grudgingly displayed it here on the wall. Why don't you fetch it down, Joan? Let the good people see it proper. Joan, fetch the... Dash it all, woman. Be careful. Oh, dearie me, I do beg your pardon, sir. You jolly near took the skin off my hands. I shall be more careful, sir. So anyway, there you have it. Yeah, the maid definitely does see. So anyway, there you have it. Live a quiet life now. Yes, see. Now then, I hear you like to know about the chap lodging downstairs, is that right? She did that shit on purpose, yep. You know she did. Let's go whoopsie doopsie. Yes, we'd be very grateful if you could answer some questions for us. Only too pleased, naturally, especially if it helps to keep the peace here, lady. We forged an alliance with the Empire of Japan recently, as I'm sure you're aware. This case is very much in the public eye, as it were. Oh, is it? He even had some famous detective poking around, you know? In this old house, would you believe? Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Huh, could have been. Didn't catch the chap's name. Not really my cup of tea, all that detective business. Oh, but you have a copy of Rance Magazine here, so... Huh? No, Anyway, the chap's investigating the foreigner's room as we speak. So he's in the second sound room. It's a bowy nuisance, that's what it is. The whole neighborhood's twitching in its curtains now. I don't like all the fuss, it's jolly unsettling. About Mr. Natsume. About Mr. Natsume, Mr. Gyarados. Please do tell us. Ah yes, the Japanese chap. I've only been lodging here for a week. Oh, just a week? So I moved in very recently. I have 2 lodgers most of the time, one on the ground floor and one just below us. First floor room became available a week ago. See, there have been... Dash it all, Joan. Do be careful. Oh my goodness, I'm terribly sorry, sir.
Yeah,
If you want to know my opinion. I thought he was a shady sort from the moment I set eyes on him. Oh boy.
because he's foreign.
He seemed to have a most nervous disposition and was shaking and looking over his shoulder. The man had shady written across his sweat-soaked brow, if you ask me.
Well, that's actually a little bit more
I said to myself, Joan, that man is troubled. Sooner or later he's going to do something untoward. And I'm rarely wrong about anything. I won't be calling this man as a witness, that's for sure. Was there anything else that struck you as suspicious about the man at all? She shut him up so she could talk, for sure. She knows what she's doing. Yes, oh yes, there indeed was. And she's dying to tell us. Had you noticed anything else about your lodger, Mr. Natsume? Oh my word, yes, the man is shadier than an orchard. Could you elaborate? Well, take the man's room. Absolutely stuffed full of books, it is. More than anyone could ever read. He never so much as passes the time of day with another looking soul. I haven't seen a single visitor call. He just trots off to that old bookshop every evening. Comes back at 5 to light the gas fire. The funny little man's up long past the time everyone else in the house has gone to bed, too. Oh, I see. The gentleman on the ground floor goes to bed at around 9 each night. But I've never known the Japanese fellow to retire any earlier than 2 in the morning. I like how she's like, he's only been here a week. He hasn't had any people come over. It's like, this is a very small sample size you're working with. Could you clarify something, I wonder? What, Craig? How do you know so much about Mr. Natsume's routine? Oh. I'd understood that neither of the lodgers live on this floor of the house, is that correct? That's right, yes. They're both below us, on the first floor and street level. Then how is it that you know so much about the lives of your lodgers? Precise times that they come back in the evening, for example, even the times they go to bed. Uh-oh.
Yep.
Good grief, Joan. Be more careful, woman. Oh my goodness, sir. I'm terribly sorry, sir. Something doesn't add up here. It seems that the incident took place at around 5 in the evening. Did you happen to look out the window at around that time? The window? Yes, we noticed that the window over there looks out of Briar Road. The incident took place on the pavement just on the other side of the street. Was there anyone suspicious loitering nearby? 5 o'clock is dinner time in the Garrett household, so I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anything. How about you, Joan? No, sir. It would have been dusk outside already at that hour. With the fog as well, I should think it would have been quite impossible to see the other side of the road. Oh, I see. Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary then? Such as... anything at all, even if it seems unrelated. Well... yes. Well, it's nothing in particular significant about it, or at that time around here. There. For the love of God, Joan, watch what you're doing. Oh dearie me, what have I done? Awfully sorry, sir. Do be more careful, woman. Of course, sir. If I may, Mr. Narrow Hollow. Oh, yes. I have an exceedingly good memory. As far as I can remember, nothing of any significance took place here at that hour. Nothing at all. Oh, really? Mr. Garrett, the way you were talking before, it sounded rather like that. Oh, well, as I was saying, it was just a trifling matter, really. Nothing of... Joan, dash it all, what's the matter with you, woman? Begging your pardon, sir. Nothing happened. Huh, yes, quite. Nothing happened. We sat down to a quiet, uneventful meal. Huh, Joan? That's right, Mr. Garrett. What is the matter with these two? This man is being McDonald's coffeed. Sounds like something happened here in this room in the evening of this, but woman, I wish I knew. Could you tell us which floor Mr. Natsume's room is on? Why, certainly, just below us on the first floor. And Mr. Sholmes is investigating there even as we speak. Yes, told me Natsu's name. Had asked him to look into the matter, so I gave him the key. That's good. Would it be alright if we also had to look around in Mr. Natsume's room, I mean? Oh, don't see why not. It's just down one flight of stairs. Unless if we'll find anything that can help us with the case, but we have to try. We need all the clues we can lay our hands on, shall we? Yes, and while we're there, we can speak with Sholmes again. Perhaps he'll be able to tell us more. Yeah, that's pretty much my reaction, too.
Okay, yay. Woohoo.
Oh, sweet baby. He's got a kitty.
Oh, okay, Kiki. Well, I saw the.
That's a
That
American
cat
echo,
first.
yeah.
Well, that's why I
But
saw that.
just look at this place and smell it. It's so musty in here. Because the mountains of old books that are responsible for that. Susanna looks petrified. I don't think I've ever seen so many books in all my life. No, me neither.
Look.
It's so dark in here, too. Is that the window over there? IDK, if you've ever heard the story. Oh, yeah, no. She just sued McDonald's over the coffee thing because she needed medical bills because they gave her, like, third-degree burns over her entire, like, lap.
Yeah, because it was, like, 33 degrees.
And then her lawyers knew that McDonald's would try and, like, counter them down, so they sued McDonald's for, like, $2 million to make sure that they settled for the range that she was looking for. And then the news picked up, oh, she's suing them over fucking hot coffee, etc., etc., yeah. The room looks so stressful and cozy at the same time. Yeah. Cat.
Yeah.
This is where Mr. Natsume lives. By the way, I haven't spotted Mr. Sholmes anywhere. Have you? No, that's true, but according to what Mr. Garrigan told us, the great detective should be around here somewhere investigating. Investigate the kitty.
Oh. Do a big stretch. And just using the books.
Oh my, what an adorable little cat. Perhaps he's looking after all the books while his master's away. I don't know about that. He disappeared into that pile as quick as a flash. It was a tricolored Nikkei, was it? Do they even have that sort of cat here in Great Britain? Perhaps Mr. Natsume brought that little creature with him from Japan. That made me feel homesick now. Already? They've only been in the country for 2 days. The dust seems to be wedged into the crevasse between the mountains of books on either side. Suppose Natsume would sit here and read while stroking his cat, surrounded on all sides by these towering old tomes. Surely he dreamt of books every night as well. Yes, he must have done, mustn't he? Oh, what's this? It's a receipt from the second-hand bookshop. Your books. Oh yes, Mr. Natsume's name is on it. Look, the date of purchase, 2 days ago at 4:45 p.m. The incident. That's just a short while before he was embroiled in the terrible attack. He must have been on his way back from buying some old books. Added to the courtyard.
Oh god, books.
Customer, Mr. Natsume, a sum of 2 shillings tendered in the receipt of the picture of Monsieur Le Cole, and a meal for Gabbero, and Canterbury Yearnings. Window. Could you even call this a window? Damn, I think this must be pre-triangle shirtwaist. I think so, the window was at one time and all that remains is a frame around some bricks now. It's really just a wall then, isn't it? Why would anyone deliberately brick it up like that? I'm afraid I have no idea. Ah, perhaps Mr. Natsume painted the brick design on it in a fit of whimsy. That's alarmingly feasible. Anyway, the reason the lack of ventilation in here makes this place very oppressive. It does. I imagine being cooped up in a room like this would be extremely trying. Big books. Look at all these books stacked up here. They're almost reaching the ceiling. They're all works of English literature, and they all smell so musty. With this volume of books to hand, you'd never be short of reading material, would you? No, what a dreamy idea. Bad dream, maybe, for me at least. Mind you, I don't imagine the book at the bottom of the pile will ever be read again. Ah, so reading is an experience that comes but once in a lifetime. Just as the tea ceremony teaches us. I didn't expect the conversation to turn down the path of tea ceremony philosophy. Crumpled up paper. These are notes scrawled all over them, in English. It looks like the waste paper basket is so full they've just fallen out. I think Mr. Natsumi must have been deeply immersed in his research, don't you? The story is why we have fire escapes now. Yeah. I wouldn't like to speculate which is closer to the truth. What's that back there? This appears to be some sort of meter on the wall here. It's very robust. Wonder what it's for. There's a slot for inserting coins here, too. Ah, I believe that is a gas meter, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, it seems there is piped gas in this district, which consumers pay for by putting coins in the meter. So if we were to put a coin in the slot, that would be enough gas to use the lights and the gas for fire for a whole night. So if you're too poor to have a coin, then you'd have to spend the night in the dark and freezing cold. That's right. As would a rich man who only carried a crisp light notes. London is a scary place. Oh look, a beckoning cat from home. It's a bit big and bulky, isn't it? Surely Mr. Natsumi didn't bring that Maneki Neko all the way from Japan with him. I hardly think you're in a position to comment, Mr. Naruhodo. Are you forgetting the enormous Daruma doll that you brought in your luggage? Well, it can be dangerous traveling abroad. I wanted a lucky charm. Well, I imagine Mr. Natsumi wanted the same. And this cat is sure beckoning good luck to him. It's not doing a very good job so far, is it? You mustn't say such things.
He's not wrong, but...
Why are my eyes such a dead giveaway? Okay. That's that half of the room investigated. Sack. Teapot? No. Teapot doesn't need investigating. Okay. Oh.
Oh, why would needs investigating?
Yeah, I'm gonna check if anything else needs to. I'm trying to put this off as long as possible.
Whoa, is that Herlock Sholmes?
Look, Mr. Naruhodo. Why would you be reading by firelight on the throne of books?
You look cool.
He seems to be engrossed in the pages of an old book. Hope he won't mind if we disturb him. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, you too. Good day. Now let me see. Where was it that we met? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, we were together on the SS Burya. Yes, of course, the Burya. Let me see. What happened on that voyage? It was Kazuma, so he died. Tragically. And you were a great help to us. Ah, yes, but of course. The case of Mr. Asogi. It's the one with the snake, wasn't it? Oh. I mean, you seem to remember something of it, at least. What an honor to be remembered vaguely by the great Herlock Sholmes. This is Mr. Oh, no, my dear madam. Hold your tongue. I pride myself on my superior powers of recollection. My names are safely recorded in my brain attic. Miss Naruhodo. And Mr. Susato. Try the other round, Mr. Sholmes. I lose the first round. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. In truth, I had hoped to invite you both to my Baker Street suite the day we arrived in London. But some Scotland Yarders ambushed me at the railway station and whisked me away to a crime scene. It was an entirely trivial case, of course. I solved the matter in no more than 30 minutes. To apprehend is the second sign of that short of an amount of time. I'm afraid the pursuance of a new case has dulled my recollection of my past involvements a little. It's a mistake to think that one's brain attic has elastic walls that can extend to any extent. I do my best to forget useless facts, lest they should elbow out the useful ones. Yes, those are my words of inimitable wisdom. You know, from an adventure called The Study in Scarlet. Please, there's no need to quote yourself. I don't always remember my pearls of wisdom. Unfortunately, my associate pens them beautifully. He means Cyrus, I suppose. Mr. Sholmes, we have some extremely important questions to ask you about the trivial case you just mentioned. Goodness, what an earnest expression. My dear madam, I should be only too pleased, as this murky room is an apt place to discuss the murky case. Oh no, wait, not examine. Wait, is there anything in Sholmes' place. We know this to be the lodging room of a Japanese foreign student by the name of Sasaki Natsume. Seems that U.S. student his arrest, Mr. Sholmes, for the stabbing of a young woman outside my prior road. Natsume, yes, I believe that was the name rather along those lines. But Mr. Natsume denies it. Was it really justifiable to arrest one so little? I'm sorry, Mr. Sato, but I have not the slightest idea of what you mean. What? I can't believe he was looking Sasato's not squarely in the eye while feigning ignorance. I assure you, I'm not merely feigning ignorance. It appears that the pair of you are under some misapprehension. Oh, how's that? I assure you, I have no recollection of accusing your stupid compatriot of the crime. But that doesn't make sense. The good detective of Scotland Yard made the following request of me, and I quote verbatim. Plus, we need you to ascertain the identity and whereabouts of a man seen fleeing the crime scene. Ah, a man seen fleeing. There was a number of books scattered on the pavement at the scene of the crime. From the book plates, I was quickly able to determine the bookshop from which they had been purchased. On speaking with the proprietor, I immediately went to this address. Elementary, for a second, didn't you? I believe there's a receipt somewhere around here from the establishment in question. So you don't think Mr. Natsume is the culprit? Huh, that I could not tell you. But it was aggravating my faculties, hence why I returned here. However, this place is such a trove of fascinating books, I found myself quite lost in bibliophilia. Do not be deceived into believing I am a man of leisure, no. Oh dear. Alright, what do you think of Mr. Garrido? Tell me, have you encountered the landlord of these lodgings? Yes, Mr. Garrido, retired military. It was the first time I'd ever met a soldier from the Great British Institution that is the services. It's the first time I've ever met a maid from the Great British Institution that is service. I didn't think it was that funny. I do apologize. As you may well be aware, many households in London employ a maid. Yes, I read as much in my Great Britain primer. And so conversely, whether or not a household employs a maid has come to be token of the social standing of the dwelling therein. Betoken their social standing, sorry? Put simply, my dear fellow, those who employ at least a single maid are considered middle class. Those who do not are beneath it. In the upper echelons of society, households employ enough staff to constitute a large family. Goodness, how extraordinary. As you can appreciate, for those on the precarious boundary between middle and lower classes, being able to afford just one maid is of first importance. I have no idea. And as for precisely that reason, I find great stimulation in the situation upstairs, specifically in the retired Army veteran Mr. John Garrido. Affable as he is, the fellow is hiding something. Whether or not it imposes on the circumstances of this case, I'm yet unable to ascertain. I'm thoroughly lost on what he means to say. This room is thoroughly suffocating for the soul, my dear fellow. I assure you, any man whose lot is to dwell in this place will stab somebody sooner or later. Mr. Natsume has stabbed no one. Ah, but sooner or later, as I said. I don't believe that's the issue here. About this dark little room, Mr. Sholmes. Why is there no longer a window? Do you have any idea? No window? Well, I mean, I can clearly see that there is a window of sorts, but it's been completely blocked with bricks. Ah, I see. The answer to that question is quite simple. 1. Window tax.
Sure, why not?
Window tax? Surely not a tax on windows. Precisely that. Until relatively recently, a tax was levied on households in this country by the number of their windows. Those of lesser means, having inherited a sizable and costly family home, perhaps rapidly closed windows up, while the rich opened windows here, there, and everywhere, in an effort to curry favor with those in power by furnishing them large sums of tax money. How awful, and unjust, forcing people to live in rooms to avoid blight. Indeed, disease was rife as a result. So some 40 years ago, or thereabouts, the window tax was abolished. But its legacy remains, as you can see. In squalid lodgings such as these, for example. I suppose Mr. Natsume's stipend for living here in London is very generous, perhaps. appears so. I've done a little digging. I discovered that these lodgings were offered at an extraordinarily low price. As they were so awful, I should think. Apparently, Mr. Natsume moved in about a week ago. Yes, that's correct. However, I don't believe the low rent is explained by the shabby nature of the accommodation. Oh. Still, that is of little relevance here, as a matter not worthy of further attention. So, was there actually a window tax in Britain? Do you know if that was a thing?
I feel like I was going to say I've heard something like that.
Wow.
These are stupid.
Interesting. Was it not your intention to become a practitioner of law? You remember that, did you? Will you perhaps be offering your services in this very matter, I presume? To the occupant of this room, Mr. Natsume, was it? I'm not sure. Not sure? On what grounds? I actually defended someone in court here only yesterday. Really? Well then, I congratulate you, sir, on the ambition realized, and so promptly too. The thing is, it really made me question things. Am I right to believe in my clients? To trust in their innocence? Yes, trust. Mr. Sholmes. Mr. Natsume didn't do it, did he? My dear fellow, I haven't the first idea. Oh, but I thought that's why you were here. Didn't you come back to investigate? Yes, that was indeed my initial intention. But there are simply too many fascinating books here. I couldn't possibly ignore them. Oh, I see. Nevertheless, there are two facts that I can state quite unequivocally. One, the man who fled the scene of the crime 2 days ago was the Japanese occupant of this room, and two, there are witnesses who swear to having seen the same man commit the crime. That is all I can say. And one more thing. I cannot say with any certainty whether or not this is of relevance to the case, but I'm quite sure that the retired army man who owns his property is hiding something. Yeah. Anyway, at present, that is really all that plays on my mind in relation to this case. Mr. Naruhodo, as yet our investigations have uncovered nothing that can help establish Mr. Natsume's innocence. No, you're right. Perhaps it's time we probed a little deeper into Mr. Gyarados' secret. Just remember, I cannot be sure whether the landlord's secret will prove to be of relevance or not. But I wish you every success, of course, Mr. Naruhodo. Busy man indeed. He's gone back to his book in the corner of the room. Alright, I guess we're going to bother Mr. Gyarados. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. Reading the tech scroll. You pair again. Tell me, was the detective chap, I forget his name, still hard at work down there? Mr. Herlock Sholmes? Yes, rings a vague bell. All that detective business isn't really my thing, I'm afraid. Well, Mr. Sholmes is in his element. Jolly good show. Another cup of tea, if you please, Joan. Oh, no. Now then, why don't you tell me what...
Why would you just, at that point, just stop?
Herlock is a very odd man, yes. For the umpteenth time, woman, will you watch that, what you're badly well doing? I shall be serving dinner shortly, sir. Yes, of course. Frightfully rude of me, but I'm afraid I shall have to ask you to take your leave if you'd be so kind. Oh, yes, of course. We are deeply grateful for all your assistance. Not at all, not at all. Don't get much of a chance to talk with young foreigners like yourselves. It's been a pleasure. Best of luck and all that. Perhaps you could see yourselves out. According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Gyarados is hiding something. Since no other avenues of investigation seem open to us at the moment, perhaps we should do some digging. Oh. What's he doing over there? Susato looks petrified.
Just showing you.
Aha, read it again, my dear fellows. Good gracious, when did you sneak in here? Herlock Sholmes, sir, at your service. What were you doing by the window? Given to watching the evening sky as the sun sets, madam. Yet sadly cheerful as the room downstairs undoubtedly is, it lacks the aperture for such observation. So I took the liberty of following around this small corner of space by the window up there. Well. Keeping an eye dusk is the prudent thing to do in London, I'm gathering. Ah, and one other thing, Mr. Naruhodo. Help me. But perhaps you might be in need of a certain great detective's great mind. Oh no. We're doing the dance, baby.
Oh boy.
There's a mighty secret in this modest room. My eyes see even the most trivial of trifles. I take it you're prepared, Mr. Naruhodo? I think so. There's just time enough for one of my greatly admired good deductions. Let's conclude the matter before dark. She burns him to give reminders of random things. Yeah. What a relationship, you know? Mr. Gyarados. Well, it would seem you're a military man of some considerable distinguished service. Your standing as a landlord is most certainly not what one might call first-rate. I'm afraid, sir, that's all too clear to me. There are two conclusions I've been able to draw by careful observation of your living arrangements. I beg your pardon? The first is that even as you speak, you're concealing the presence of a ferocious beast in your care. Eh? And the second is that as a result of the beast's violent rampage, you have lost something very dear to you. What? The old man's broken out in cold sweat. How could I possibly know? You mean to inquire? The answer couldn't be simpler, sir. From the dense jungle of logic and reasoning, I am the king of the beasts. And I know only too well that wild beasts are not easily tamed. So, shall we begin? Once again, Herlock Sholmes is proud to present Logic and Reasoning Spectacular.
God. Topic 1.
Nature of the beast. Is he Tarzan? Yeah, I guess so. It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see that a fearsome beast has been on the rampage as of late within these four walls.
Cat.
Thus we are faced with the question, what form might the beast take? Ah, for a man with a military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Aye. Your furtive glances, Mr. Gyarados, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast is that his run rampant here is revealed by that lion statue. Yes, though an army man, you appear unimposing a pest. The fact that has fueled your admiration for the mighty lion, king of the beasts. What is this pitiful line asked you? In the end, your admiration became so great, in fact, that you had a living, breathing specimen shipped from India, which you tried to keep in this very house. What? Did you notice the giant hand mark across the left half of his face?
No, to be honest, I've been too distracted with whatever the fuck Sholmes is doing.
That's fair. The chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence. Well, yet as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to? I'm just gonna call this out here. The maid is the abusive one. It looks like she slapped him very hard in the face.
Dude, the maid who keeps pouring tea on him every single time he speaks.
I've heard that you do not consider me unchivalrous, but it is plain to see that in one glance in your direction, Liz? Your dress pocket gives us handsome clues to the beast's current whereabouts. But protruding from it is a handbill advertising a circus show. Ah. Yes, you sought to dispose of this terrifying lion, Mr. Gyarados, at Batty's Circus, a traveling show currently sojourning in a nearby park. I've observed the tents. You sold the savage lion show to the Carious Circus troupe. I most certainly did not. I believe I've made my point. The fearsome beast you trained him up in this room, an Indian lion. A simple visit to the circus now will reveal the lion prancing jubilantly through a ring of fire.
Have you got that from a statue?
Yes.
Oh god, topic 2.
Yes. Now, Mr. Gyarados, it is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, in that blithe pose, the distress this loss has caused you is veritably tangible. Your head weighs heavily on your shoulders, the pain you feel being revealed by that supporting arm. Amid the fits of tears, you let your beloved beast go. The strain of losing something so dear to you is clearly visible in your visage. Nonsense, man, I simply... But what, we must now ask ourselves, is the true cause of this pain? We need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, this pile of bills that is giving rise to the pain you suffer. Every envelope contains another demand for payment. For cartloads of meat, potatoes, wheat, and tea. Indeed, feeding your beloved has had a devastating impact on the financial circumstances of your household. And so you had no choice but to let it go. Yes, well, Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. The aftermath from which can be clearly seen and observed on the carpet over there. Very expensive woolen carpet, if I'm not mistaken. Oh dearie me. What could have caused such a destructive outburst? I guess Grandpa's got PTSD.
PTSD in a can.
That's true.
Always a good combo.
Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the Tower of Cakes. There is no creature more dangerous on earth than a beast with an insatiated appetite. Was it or was it not once said by a certain noblewoman, if they have no bread, let them eat cake.
Facts.
Food is at the heart of all this tragedy, in fact. Whatever you mean. Having tired of the taste of cake, the beast began to stalk its next prey. I'm sure I need not spell out the nature of this final act of destruction carried by this beast. There is only one logical conclusion. Worked into a frenzy by hunger, the lion attacked and ate the carpet. The teeth marks in the carpet are a perfect match with those of a lion I once saw in India. This man is...
What great deductions. I'm glad these are used in full for the stories.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, mood.
Oh no.
What is the matter with you, John? You're pouring scalding hot tea all over me.
How much tea is in that thing?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Garrett. I'm afraid I didn't notice. My deductions can be startlingly sharp. It stands to reason that your cup runneth over. Indeed, my revelations can make people spill tears at times, too. Oh. Mr. Sholmes? Sorry to butt in. Again. But could I make an observation? Why, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo. What is it? Again. Well, your deductions just now. Do you really think a lion could have fit inside a room this size? Indeed, it's the only explanation for the facts. Terrifying truth all too often lies beyond the realms of common sense. It'd be an idea to consider what lies inside the realms of common sense itself.
Nah, not
But if
for
an
sure.
uncaged lion had been locked in this very room, surely Mr. Garrett and Dave would have been hurt, or worse. Ah, that's where you're stuck. No doubt the former military man held his own against the beast using that large cannon. That you said that they sold the lion to the circus. And what about the food? Meat and potatoes are one thing. But I don't believe I've ever heard of a lion that drinks tea. Ah, my dear Mr. Sato, it occurs to me with some regularity that irrespective of race and breeding, whenever anyone lands on Great British soil, they are infused with a highly appropriate taste for afternoon tea.
You know, I have heard Yorkshire tea is really good.
We're not going a spiff segment, alright? Oh hey, what a glorious nation. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, it's your turn to shine again. I had a feeling that was coming. Slight massage, that's all Mr. Sholmes' deductions need. You can do it. Excellent, I've been waiting for my trusty partner in deduction to step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. We don't even know whether or not this is going to help with Mr. Natsume's case. Still, uncovering the truth is always worthwhile, whatever the motivation. At least, that's what I want to believe. Alright, seeing as it's 10:55, let's do this great deduction.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
You have to get it done before dark, Alex. That's what you said before. Okay,
Yeah.
no.
I was like, oh no, it's dark out. Oh wait. Oh my god.
It's not just dark, Alex. It's darker than dark.
True. Okay. really didn't see the lion thing coming. No, but if you observe Mr. Gyarados' reaction, it rather seems as though some beast did indeed run him up here in this room. Yes, something with a very fierce nature. But it couldn't have been a lion transported from India, so what was it then? Follow Mr. Gyarados' gaze. Ah. He was married to the maid.
It's gonna be really awkward.
Yeah. Something must have struck the glass directly over the woman's face. Oh god. What caused the damage in this room? I feel like it's the newlywed bride.
Take that!
Nope. The true nature of the beast that ran rampant here is revealed by that newlywed bride. Precisely, Mr. Naruhodo. No other explanation could possibly fit.
Wasn't the lion?
Yes, this framed print picture of your wife, Mr. Gyarados. And while we lament the fact that her face is obscured, you can still make out her mighty arms and note the considerable horsepower they must contain. Jesus Christ. Well, so we have 3 marks of racism and sexism now. Oh, indeed, surely any woman of such powerful constitution would be honored to be described as a beast. Maybe make that too. Honored might be stretching a point. Too late, the fact remains that the beast, which so clearly savaged this room, was your wife, Mr. Gyarados. Showing traces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence. No. Yet as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to? Madam? Me? I'm afraid you do not consider me chivalrous, but it's plain to see one glance in your direction. Poor fragile defenseless woman is beside herself. No. I don't know about fragile. Anyway, Mr. Sholmes is quite right. There is no sign of Mrs. Gyarados anyway. But it may be a clue as to her whereabouts. A clue that she's trying to hide.
Take that!
Ah. Fuck. Not even sure if I should voice this. It's impossible to believe it could be true, but for some reason the thought came to my mind. That this serving maid is in fact the blind goddess of destruction. The deduction is wanting in every way. Yes, I was wanting you to hear that. I'm quite proud of it. I found myself wanting to never have heard it. I'm quite pained by it, in fact. Oh, sorry. I'll try again. Yes, yes. I know what it is. The wedding ring.
Take that!
Bam! Your wedding ring gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. It certainly does. That flowery band gleaming on your finger gives you away. For it's identical to the one shown in the hand of Mr. Gyarados' bride in the photographic print.
You probably should have broken that part too.
Yeah. In other words, you are no ordinary household maid. No. You're Mr. Gyarados' lucky bride. You are Mrs. Gyarados' dream. My word. Oh, I get it. She's posing as a maid to make him seem higher class, to make them both seem like higher class. Well, jolly fine detecting, sir. As you rightly surmise, this is my wife. Yes, my Joan. Rather let herself go, you might say. She was a bally quarterback. 3 for sexism.
Based.
Joan is based, yes. It would appear that you don't live in the most comfortable of circumstances. After all, you're a retired army man, yet you're in the business of renting out rooms. I would assume, therefore, you haven't sufficient means to employ a maid. Would that be correct? It's not right, I tell you. Oh, second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment. A man has his pride, don't you know? By golly, it's a sorry thing when a chap can't even afford to have a single maiden in his employ. Yes, here in London, one is rather judged. A household simply cannot be considered worthy of society if it employs no staff at all. But in my considered opinion, such concerns about appearances are a folly. You mean Mr. Garrett as his wife, work as his maid? Precisely. Am I right, Mr. Garrett? Only in company, obviously, but listen here. This must remain a secret. Tip-top secret, please. It is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, it's that blithe poise and stress the loss of shining comparatively tangible. Your head weighs heavily on your shoulders. The pain you feel being revealed by that story lamp. Mr. Sholmes is quite something. He's still calling Garrett's wife a beast. Yes, as a woman, that feels rather uncomfortable. Mr. Garrett is standing here beside your husband as we speak. In other words, he hasn't lost his beloved at all, has he? No, true. Perhaps that's the arm seems to be propping up his head. Some other significance then. Slapped cheek.
Take that!
That is a... Jesus Christ, that is a big mark. Your head weighs heavily on your shoulders. The pain you feel revealed by the slapped cheek. And of course, the deliverer of that impressive mark on your cheek that refuses to fade was you, Madam Joan Garrett. Well, yes. Damn domestics. You've been desperate to hide the slap mark on your cheek, sir. How the blazes did you work that out? Nothing escapes the notice of one trained in the art of observation, my dear fellow.
That's how you discover the lion.
That's why you haven't looked directly at us even once.
Lion slap.
Sure. To keep you on the other side from view. Well, now, let us proceed to the next conundrum. Why were you subjected to such a violent slap? In other words, we must ask ourselves, what caused Madame Garrett to fly into a rage? We need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, the pound bills.
I mean, that would be that outrageous.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the most grounded claims is, hey, bills might be putting a strain on the marriage.
Yeah. Damn! Yes, well, we've established that the lion never existed, which means the only thing that's responsible for gobbling up all that food was Mr. Garrett's wife. Mr. Naruhodo, she is a person, not a thing. Or for sexism. Well, she's also a person who gave her husband a mighty slap around the face. And so hard it left a perfect hand mark, in fact. Yeah, I would have won when I hit her husband with such force, I wonder. I want to know the answer to that question. I feel like it's the other thing that's like selectable. I feel like it's gotta be the look.
Take that!
Or it's dropping someone else's bookmark and getting slapped for it. Yeah, I'll admit that one was bad. This is my show, Mr. Naruhodo. I think the fun peculiar experiments on your own stage.
We just told you to get off the stage.
Not wrong. Yes, yes. Betrayal. aren't a lot of things that are available to select, so it's gotta be the stack.
Failure?
Sure, the stack is
Take
like...
that!
I don't see what else is there.
Could you actually be right with the bills?
Yeah,
Because you can still select the bills.
yeah.
You just assumed everything he said was wrong, but there's a chance he was actually right about something. Which I know is tough to admit.
Yeah, I'm gonna be smart here.
Just save.
I can't.
There's literally nothing that you got over this.
I know, but it feels wrong to say.
To agree with him,
Take that!
I don't know what's time. Alright, you know what time it is? Part 2, right?
Yes. The dance of logic or whatever.
You should be able to look nearby the pile of books. Look at the book nearby. Investigate the bookmark?
I wasn't able to investigate it before, but maybe that's it.
You have to present.
Because, like, I can't invest.
Okay.
I can investigate. I'm fucking stupid. I'm dumb.
I can't do it.
I don't think this is a bookmark. Oh no, it isn't. It's a note written in a woman's hand. Oh James, I love you. Yours, Mary. Bookmarks. Made with lipstick. Oh, what a passionate romantic gesture. Don't get any ideas, Susato-san. I do, I'm sorry. This bookmark is actually a love. And that's why.
Take that!
Yes, this is the love note. Eyes to the pain you suffer. Oh James, I love you. Yours, Mary. Passionate indeed. Perhaps the sender of this note is certain Miss Mary is the fly in the ointment here. Damn! But I don't know the Bally woman. You don't know her? The note wasn't written to me. Just in the meme. It was just in the book. I don't know how it got there. Was it just in there, you say? That's right. That's what I've been saying. A likely story. Now listen here, Joe, old thing. I explained that at the time. I bought the book at a second-hand place. The note must have already been there. So the previous owner of the book was using the note as a bookmark. That's right. That's what I've been saying. A likely story. For heaven's sake, man, look at the name. It's written to James. My name, in case you've forgotten, is John. Ah! A likely story. Are you questioning my name now? Damn! And there we have it. Arouse the suspicions of the female at heart, and you unleash a beast with a most ferocious bite. Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. The aftermath of which can be seen observed on the carpet there. Very expensive woolen carpet, if I'm not mistaken. Oh dearie me. What could have caused such a destructive outburst? This time, madam, I'm afraid it was you who had inadvertently revealed the truth. Your wondering eye settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the Tower of Cakes. But surely Mrs. Gyarados didn't hit the carpet. Oh boy. I'm just gonna save, because I only have one chance before I fail this.
Well, it should be very obvious.
I know. No, of course not. There doesn't seem to be any doubt. The state of disarray in this room is as a result of the wild temper. No, that's true. So this is the last part. see. There we go. Candle.
You put the carpet.
Right.
Not the... You're so close to the right one. It's not the candle. Are you looking for a cause of the issue?
Oh, I should be looking at the floor itself.
No. Candelabra, that's a missing
Oh my
one.
god, I'm fucking
Oh
stupid.
my god, how did you get through these games? How many saves of those did you need?
First of all, most of the time, not many. Second of all, I've never had to do this kind of on-the-spot mystery explanation.
Oh, there's a candle on the ground. There are 2 candles in the candlestick. I wonder what could have caused the
I
issue.
didn't notice the candlestick. I was
It's
focused on the
right-
candle.
It was right there.
I was focused on the candle.
Her eyes went to the tower, and right next to the tower is a candlestick. You went, Lord.
I said candle, and then didn't think about where the candle came from. It's Britain. They were lighting everything on fire. They even lit their own city on fire.
Go.
Scorch marks at the edge give the truth away. It would appear that this room is the scene of a little martial altercation. Miss Garrett's mighty arm muscle left an impression not only on her husband's face, but on the entire room. The force of her strike caused a candle to fall from the holder. And in seconds, the carpet was alight, and the whole corner of the room was in flames. Yes, the most ferocious beast in the world is neither a violent lion nor a vengeful woman, but fire. And in this room, that ferocious beast bared its claws and ran amok. Eloquently put, my dear fellow. So you see, there is but one conclusion here.
Fire.
After the sparks of marital discourse flew, the room was the scene of a fire.
Cool, so what did this solve?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh shit. He's getting up. Mr. Sholmes, sir. I salute you. Oh, look, it's me.
So it was not a line, but you know what?
Deduction. Elementary. Literally elementary. It's these dashed long winter's nights, you know, nothing to do but read in front of the fire. Luckily there's a jolly good second-hand bookshop just around the corner. Buy all my old novels there. And in the pages of one particular novel, you discovered some rather illicit material. For which your wife admonished you harshly, it seems. Don't know about admonished. Demolished might be closer to the mark. And beast is most certainly an apt description. You deserve that one.
Wait, this
And the carpet, why was that destroyed by a fire when a candle fell on the floor? Afraid to say it was. Happened in the blink of an eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bally thing. It's caught between the old stick's rage and the raging flames. You painted torrid picture, sir. One that would have been most entertaining. That's sympathy for you. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The bally furniture started going up as well. Had to hide the mess behind the screen for the time being. Over there, Mr. Garrett? Well, you have nothing more to hide now. You'll allow me. Oof. Had all my favorite novels in that case. As soon as the fire got a hold of them. How was it? Whoosh, up in smoke. Gosh. And the wife started hurling things at me. What a terrible sight it must have been. There I was, back up against the window under heavy enemy fire, incendiary books coming in, 10 to the dozen. Worst of it, I lost my favorite book called The Lion's Pride. Ah yes, your notorious love of big cats coming through again. I assure you, the title didn't influence my choice in the slightest. The Department really did do something weird as a result of the ferocious beast rampage. No, they didn't. I tell you, it was total carnage. Flames everywhere, and the old stick is in full fettle. Out of interest, what time of day was that? I'm not sure I can remember. It's 2 days ago now. Let's see, around 5 o'clock, I think. So exactly the same time as a terrifying incident was unfolding outside your window in the street below. Even more terrifying on the inside, I was going to show you. The whole of old Blighty could have been flattened outside my window at the moment. I wouldn't have noticed a dash thing. Oh, really? Mr. Sholmes? Yes, Naruhodo, what can I do for you? Well, I think we've got to the bottom of Mr. Gyarados' situation here, but what does this have to do with Mr. Natsume's circumstances? I can't help you there, I'm afraid. But, my dear fellow, if you recall, I did say as much from the outset. You did. I warned you that although I knew the retired army man was hiding something, I could not be sure whether or not the secret would prove to be of relevance or not. I just knew you were going to say that. But now, Mr. Naruhodo, you must not lose heart. Bear in mind, all things fall into one of two categories. Those relevant to the case and those not. That makes no sense. Well, no matter. There's a far greater importance that you make up your mind now. Visiting hours at the prison will soon be over. Oh no. For to accept Mr. Natsume's case, we have to official paperwork to attend to. So that's it. No more time to think. Perhaps you'd like to betake yourselves in bidding us farewell now. I must prepare supper for Mr. Gyarados. Oh yes, I'm so sorry. Thank you both very much for your time. Alright. Let's call it there. Because we're a little over the limit, but
it tends to happen with these games.
Proper domestic violence happening, you know? It just happens.
Oh, you might need to get your eyes checked. You can see a candlestick.
I saw the candle. I just didn't notice the candelabra that it was attached to, formerly.
I was going to say, wow, their eyes reveal something. Clearly the floor.
I thought it was. I saw the burned carpet, and I saw a candlestick. I thought it was pretty obvious. They just wouldn't let me select the candle.
With their eye, you've drawn something up on a table, if they meant to.
To be fair, an eye looking in a general direction takes in a whole lot of stuff from a verticality perspective.
Yeah, like where am I looking right now?
Somewhere in this general direction.
Would that make you think the floor?
No, but she was looking at the table, and the carpet is right here. It's still in your line of view. Listen, you don't have to like it, but that's what we're at, alright?
You're a dingus. Cool.
Yes, yes.
Anyway.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.